Oops. And that is the problem with having everything made out of Velcro. Everything sticks to everything, so. That's so wonky. I'm already starting to sweat, like I've been blasting the aircon. I have a Halloween Batsuit photo shoot coming up in the space of I think it's about a week from when I'm filming this video. So I need to do one final test fit of the Batsuit because I've made a lot of adjustments and changes in the last, since I put it on. I think it's actually been a few months since I last suited up. So I need to do a final test suit up today, and I figured what better opportunity to show you guys how I actually get into the suit. It requires a lot of help. I probably can do it by myself, but it's not pretty. It's pretty rough when I'm trying to do it solo. So I have help today, which is gonna be great. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys how I go from just regular old me to full Batsuit version of me, which you've probably seen around my socials a bit. But in order to do this properly, it means I'm gonna have to lose the beard. So on that note, alrighty, beard is gone. I know, baby face, it's horrific. Also, quick costume change as well. Not the major costume change of this video, as you're about to see. But now I've actually got to get the Batsuit off the mannequin, which is currently in my room. That's a mission in of itself. So let's go get the Batsuit off the mannequin now, and then we can work on getting it onto me. With a special guest appearance today, I actually realized I'm forgetting the most critical part of being Batman, and that's the eye makeup. You know what, I can probably do it here. Let me just move. I brought this mirror. That was my lightsaber. That's a fun tool for later. Hopefully that didn't break. Wouldn't be the first lightsaber blade I've broken. It's one of the NeoPixel ones. Did that crack? I think it cracked a little bit. I'm sure it's fine. All right, now when it comes to eye makeup, there's a couple of different things you can use. You can just use plain black eyeshadow, which is what a lot of Batman cosplayers use. What I use is, it is eyeshadow. It's not a powder, it's more of like a gel, and I don't know too much about different types of makeups. I'm not hugely experienced in that field. This is the one I will typically use, and it normally comes with a little brush in the bottom here. I actually need to get a new one of these because I think I've had it for a bit too long and the inside's gone a bit weird. This stuff works really, really well, and it's waterproof, and it has never ever come off on me. It's similar. It's a similar one, but I was trying to get some of this and it was sold out, and I needed to get it in a hurry, so I just ended up going with this one, which is basically the same kind of stuff. Anything black, anything eyeshadowy is gonna do you just fine. I only have a really, really fine brush today. It's gonna take a little bit longer to get on, but it's gonna make getting around my eye line and getting in as close as I can much easier. Get a bit on the brush and kind of just, go at it. You want to try and get as close to the waterline of your eye as possible. It just really helps you kind of, it helps your appearance really disappear into the cowl once everything is on properly. Given that this is a test suit up, as opposed to like a full-on photo shoot, I probably don't need to be too thorough with the eye makeup. I probably just need to do just enough. I mean, getting it on is never too bad. It's always getting it off that becomes the real challenge. All right, I think that's gonna do really, really nicely. Okay, so once I start to put it on, there's like a very specific order in which all of this has to kind of go on. I mean, even getting it off the mannequin, I'm a little bit confused. It's been a while since I've done this. I think probably, yeah. Okay, so we've got the chest piece. Actually, let's get the cape off. Normally when I'm putting this on, it's actually easier to leave stuff like the biceps and the shoulders on and then just slip the whole thing on. But for the purposes of showing you like a full suit up, I might actually take these off, and then I can go from like complete scratch and build from the ground up. Velcro is the main pillar of this suit, holding it together, as I'm sure you can tell. Cool. Bicep number 2. These are my old gauntlets. So I'm gonna test it out with the new ones that I fixed up in a previous video. Okay. Now, so if I unzip both of these, the front. Actually, I think from memory I had to take the fists off for this to work, so, because they're pretty chunky. So this should just slide off. All right. Perfect. Okay, now the suit's off the mannequin, I actually have to put on my base layer, which is kind of just like Under Armour compression wear. It gives me something to effectively sweat into rather than sweating directly into the suit, because it gets really, really hot in the suit really, really quickly. Okay, so as a base layer, yeah, it's just like average kind of exercise compression wear. It just makes wearing the suit a lot more comfortable. Wearing the suit as a whole is already quite a bit of like it's a bit of a sensory overload, just with, I can't really move very well, and it's quite stiff in places, and it's hot and it's restricting. You're about to see the whole thing from start to finish. But I need help because I can't do this by myself. I've never actually put it on by myself. I will do a video on that at one point in the future, just showing you. If anything, it's probably just gonna be more of me attempting to put the suit on by myself and failing horribly. Seeing as Alfred was unavailable, he took a vacation day, I managed to find someone else to kind of help me get into this today. So, Selena has very, very kindly agreed to help me get into the suit today. It would be quite literally impossible to do this without her. So let's get started. Okay, it might seem pretty basic, but first things first is a good pair of socks. Because these are pretty beefy boots. They're like real thick kind of Austrian army boots. So having a really good pair of socks really does help. First up, pants. These just slip on really, really easily. I mean, there's nothing special to say about these. They're just regular pants. Now I've got these fidlocks on the side. These just like magnetically have a clip that wraps around the side. These are a set of fidlocks that I had to buy. They didn't come with my suit, so they just kind of snap in place. And I didn't want them too tight because it restricts how much I can actually move my legs. Magnets in there. The pants as a whole are very, very mobile. Like I can squat down in them. Everything's fine. It gets a little bit trickier once I've got like the little the thigh holster and stuff on there. But next up, boots. Now lacing these up can be a little bit tricky. That is an excellent point, Catwoman. I don't think I ever have actually put the boots on myself. So the boots are something that if you do have someone that can help you tie them up, it's just 1,000 times easier than trying to like look over the front and kind of match everything up, because you've kind of got to weave them through the little hooks on here. So while you can do it by yourself, it's much, much easier if you have someone to help you out. So next up, we're going to be putting the gaiters, or the boot spats, boot covers, however you like to call them. There's a few different names for them. It's just another item that's it's beneficial if you have someone to help you out with them, because they have to zip up at the back and it's quite hard to see. So I'm going to let my lovely Catwoman sort that one out for me. Alrighty, that is most of the bottom half sorted, but next up is going to be the vest, which is really, really hard to do by myself. Now, I used to actually wear suspenders for the pants, and I'll just show you why that was the case. That over the back, like that. So I look a little bit like a firefighter. This was prior to me putting, I don't know if you guys can see this, I'll just move the camera down a bit. I have this line I've put a bunch of Velcro on the front of the pants here. That's just to kind of help it, it's gonna stick to the bottom of the flight suit. Prior to me adding in that Velcro, I had to rely on the suspenders basically to keep the pants from, not that they were ever gonna fall down, it's just that the belt that goes around, it's not like an actual belt that holds your pants up. It's more just, it's all for show. It actually has no practical application in keeping the pants up whatsoever. So the suspenders were my go-to in that scenario. But today is gonna be the first day I'm trying it out with this line of, bits of Velcro that I've put at the front here. So I'm gonna have to ditch the suspenders for now. And then if we figure out that we end up needing them, I can put them back on. So next up is gonna be the vest, or the top part of the flight suit. Okay. So the vest just slips on, like it unzips. It unzips at the back, which makes it really easy to get into. So I can just slide into it like that. And then it can just be zipped up from behind. So again, getting it zipped up is another thing that's quite difficult if you're by yourself. And I actually had to add in, which I'll show properly in my Batsuit breakdown. I had Catwoman here sew some buttons to the back of the suit just to kind of, basically it cinches it in at the waist a little bit because the suit was a little bit too big, too baggy. Those 4 buttons that were sewn onto the back there that you might have just seen, it just kind of pulls it in a lot tighter around the waist. So I've got this line of Velcro here, which I want it to attach to the pants on the inside. So tuck that in there. The belt will kind of cover the rest of this here. Yeah, okay, I think that Velcro works quite well. The top of the suit might bunch up a little bit, but cool. All right, so this is where we're at the moment. Still pretty mobile. Everything is still pretty easy to move in. It's once I start putting on like the pieces of armor that it starts to get really, really restrictive with the movement. Velcroing the bottom of the pants here, it's kind of seeing the top of this bunch up a little bit more than I'm used to. So I might end up having to go back to the suspenders route. We'll see what happens in that regard. So next up is the belt and the thigh holster. Okay, so there we go. And then we've got, I've got a clip on this side here that the holster will clip into nicely here. So, and then the straps, we've just got to wrap around the leg. Next up though is going to be our biceps. These were pretty carefully measured to have Velcro on the backs of them that lines up with very carefully placed Velcro on the flight suit. And that is the problem with having everything made out of Velcro. Everything sticks to everything, so it can get a little bit tricky sometimes, especially when you're working alone, which I'm very grateful to not have to be. So that's our first bicep on. And then that is the second bicep. And still, mobility in the suit is still pretty good. It still works okay. It's as soon as we start to get the shoulders on, which is what we're tackling next. My mobility starts to get a little bit iffy, a little bit how you're going. But yeah, so far, so good. Next up, we've got our shoulders. And again, surprise, surprise, more Velcro. Once all of this has been put, as I mentioned at the start, once all of this has been put on like your vest and your jacket, you can usually pretty seamlessly slip the jacket on and off without having to remove all your armor every single time. It's just a matter of getting the placement of it right in the first place. And once you've got it right, unless you need to take the armor pieces off to adjust them or make any alterations, you're fine to like leave it on there kind of at all times. So cowl next. Okay, next up is the cowl, the main big ticket item. This is where things start to get a little bit claustrophobic. Alrighty, good. And then I just got to throw this neck piece in. I'm just going to look off to my side here. There's a mirror. It can sometimes be hard to get the neck to sit just right. Pretty good so far. Okay, all right, and that's, the cowl has actually truly, honestly, probably been the easiest thing to get on so far. All right, and then next up, we've got to do I'm pretty sure the collar. Yes, the collar goes on next. I might have to move my mic. I might just hold the mic for a minute and then if I need to put it down, I can put it down. Also, I can only sort of turn my head in the cowl. It's not too bad. There's just, it kind of digs into the back of my neck there. I don't know if you can see that. So I actually did a video recently where I cut a bit off the back of it and it doesn't seem to have helped. It has helped a little bit, but I can still kind of feel it digging into the back of my neck there. So not ideal, so I might have to cut a bit more off the back. But yes, sorry, I'm keeping Catwoman waiting. All right. Lots of layers here to figure out. Might just come in close to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. The collar and the cowl, there's just a lot of layers you got to get right, which is very hard. That's so wonky. Okay, yeah, there it is. So there's the collar. on mostly, it's gonna get pushed up kind of above this strip of Velcro here once we've got the chest on. So for the moment, everything is still pretty mobile. It's once the chest gets put on and the cape that everything starts to get a little bit more like, can't really reach across the front of myself all that well. Let's give it a shot. Again, it's also partly because I'm not using the suspenders today. So when I use the suspenders, it lets me kind of keep all of this pulled down a lot more, but because it's Velcro to the front of the pants and I can't really pull the jacket down because it's connected to the pants, it's bunching up a lot more at the top. That's okay, that's why we do test fittings. Next up is the cape. I've also added, I've added a bit of Velcro to the shoulders. See, I can't really talk to you guys and turn my head at the same time, as you can see. There's a bit of Velcro on those tabs, kind of the top of the shoulders. That's to try and keep the cape in place a little more, because the cape is kind of the hardest thing to have sit the way you want it and where you want it once you've been in the suit and you've been moving around for a little while. So I've got to squat down just a little bit. It helps if I like hold the back of it, hey? So the cape just kind of Velcros onto whatever spare Velcro there is on the chest, which is why I added a couple more pieces of Velcro to the chest area recently, just to give the cape and the chest plate a little bit more real estate in terms of Velcro to cling on to, because they kind of share whatever Velcro is there. Also, now's the moment of truth to see if that little bit of Velcro I put on the top of the shoulders is going to help at all. Yeah, it works pretty well though. Okay, so the Velcro that I added on those little tabs on the shoulder seems to be working pretty well, because the issue before was that with too much movement, the cape would start to kind of wrap around over the tops of the shoulders. It was getting caught on the gauntlets and just it was giving a bit of a weird look. Pattinson's cape in the films, it never actually wraps around him, despite that being a very comic accurate look in the Pattinson cape. Actually, I have a couple of photos where I did it and it doesn't look too bad, but when I'm out shooting on location and I can't actually adjust it all that well myself, the idea was to have the Velcro on the shoulders, make sure it sits where I want it and not have to worry about it kind of wrapping around me too much. But everything's kind of coming together nicely. Next up is the chest piece. The reason we have to put the chest on now as opposed to before is that we have to get the cape the cape has to drape over the shoulders, which have to be on before the cape, and then the cape has to attach to this Velcro underneath here prior to the chest going on. Otherwise you can't access it. So, and then there's little snap pins up underneath here that these straps here clip onto, which is just another layer of kind of keeping it all, or another mechanism I should say, of trying to keep it all in place. So without the suspenders, with the suit Velcroing to the bottom of the pants, I can't really pull the vest down like we normally would. So now whenever I like kind of lean forward, it does want to bunch up a bit. It actually doesn't look too bad on camera. The chest plate, while giving me a little bit more mobility without the suspenders, the chest plate is kind of, as I lean forward, it's kind of sliding over this top plate of armor here, which I suppose doesn't look too bad. And I suppose if I was ever filming any kind of action scene or something, that would be ideal. But for like hero posed shots and stuff where I want as much of the suit to kind of be in line or as in place as possible, it's probably going to be better to use the suspenders. That way I can keep the top part of the suit pulled down, the top vest of it, and tucked in to the belt really, really nicely. Yeah, the neck piece is holding together nicely as well, because that's also another one that's pretty hard to get to sit in place sometimes. And after a bit of too much movement, it does start to kind of pop out, and I need Catwoman here, who's always usually on set with me, to kind of fix it up a little bit. Next up is mainly just the gauntlets and the gloves, and then we're pretty much done. The gauntlets they have a lot of Velcro on the inside of them to kind of correspond with Velcro that's patched onto the outside of the sleeves of the flight suit. Cool, that's one gauntlet on. All right. Now we've got both the gauntlets on. So it's just really down to the gloves now. But I'll show you what I mean with the neck before, where I was talking about how stuff likes to pop out. This part of the neck has already kind of popped out. It's meant to kind of sit in under there. But yeah, so I might have to fix up. There is a bit of Velcro on here that kind of is supposed to kind of keep it nice in there, but I might have to figure something out there. This side pops out all the time, this part of the neck, so that's something we'll R&D later. I'll get Alfred to sort that one out. All right, final piece of the puzzle is the gloves. So, glove number one. Now, someone recommended to me, and I actually think I cannot for the life of me remember it. It was one of my Insta friends that if I actually wear, and I'm so sorry if you're watching this video and I've completely forgotten who it was who recommended this to me, but if you wear just like a sock that's cut off on both ends on your wrist, it basically prevents any of this skin showing, which I've never had an issue with in the past, but I might have to, yeah, do that in this instance. Oh no, I've dropped it. All right, this is gonna be a good chance to show you guys what it's like picking something up off the ground. Okay, not terrible. That wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be. Just kind of go like that. Alrighty, and we're in. I like the way the cape thing works really well. All right, so this is it. We're in the full suit now. That took about half an hour, I think, in total. An hour. Okay, that actually took close to an hour. Granted, it has been like probably close to 6 months since I've been suited up in this thing. So we're both a little bit rusty in terms of getting me into this in a streamlined fashion. It's a lot quicker once I've got the armor already on, like the shoulders and the biceps and all that already on, and I can just slip into the vest. All right, so as far as the test fit goes, that's pretty good. We're gonna be out next weekend on location, and I'm gonna do a pre-location vlog just to kind of show you what I have to kind of cover and consider before I actually go out for a photo shoot. But yeah, as far as test fittings go, and it's been 6 months or so since I put this on, yeah, it's done pretty well. I'll do a full proper in-depth breakdown of all the pieces and where I got them and how I made certain pieces and where I bought certain pieces from. That's coming. I just want to make that a pretty in-depth guide for you guys. As I keep mentioning, I think I just keep yapping on about the full suit breakdown at the end of almost every video at the moment. I just don't want you guys to think that I've forgotten about it, because I know that's probably my most requested question of all is, how did I put this together? Because I had zero experience in cosplay before I decided to throw this suit together. So yeah, I want to kind of give you my first-hand experience of someone who's gone from zero experience to cosplay to pulling together a pretty extensive batsuit, and mainly just to show you guys that if you want to do this, you can do this. Anyone can do this, even if you have no experience in cosplay. And that's kind of, I think, one of the most exciting things about it is that cosplay is for everyone, no matter what your level of skill. There is a way for you to kind of achieve the final results that you want to get, and I want to show you how you can do that. So that is going to come. That video is on the way. Next week, I'll be out shooting some stuff just prior to Halloween, kind of coincide with that October 31st, that Thursday, October 31st. That's quite exciting. I'm also going to do, there's going to be like a behind the scenes vlog of that shoot as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that has given you a little bit more insight into how the suit fits together or how I get into this thing. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. I'm already starting to sweat. Like, I've been blasting the aircon in my house here, and I think the heat just builds up immediately. It's all the layers of the canvas and the cape and the rubber of the cowl. It's rough. Catwoman, thank you so much for being here. I could not be putting on this suit without you. 50% of the operation is right here, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below if there's anything else you'd like to see me cover about the suit or any other questions you have. Just thank you guys so much for being here, and peace out.